What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to another video on DSM Inc. As always, I'm Chris, and this is the DSM. Technically not really a DSM because it was made in '98, but you know, I still call it a DSM, it's whatever. But without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna go over kind of an overview on the car, where it is right now. It's been a while since I've made a video, so a few things have changed on the car since the last time I made a video when I was back in my shop. Since the shop, we put on some TR Motorsport C3s. These come usually pretty stock on the S2000s. I think they look pretty good on this for a car that doesn't come with these normally. Put 205 45 17s. They're Lexanis. They give a decent stretch, but not something that's like too stancy or like something that I fear would DB. You know, with the way the roads are where I live, this definitely not the place for low cars, but I still do it every day because why not? But other than that, still pretty much the same. I did end up finally finding a OEM sunroof, which if you guys can see from all this horrible gasket sealing I've been trying to do, that will all be figured out, you know what I'm saying, like flush down, stuff like that. All that will be taken care of. I ended up going out and purchasing a Natami bucket seat. I was going in a BMW 1 Series, but I kind of did some rigging and rigged a way for it to fit in the Eclipse. I like it a lot, honestly. It's a lot more comfortable than the stock seats. If you guys can see, there's not really a lot of like side support on the stock seat. If you guys like see right here, it just kind of comes out slow, but on this one it like actually bows out. I like that a lot more because it keeps my arms at like a good height and a good security for where I want to be where I'm driving. So I definitely will recommend that 110% to anybody who's trying to do some cool interior mods to their car. Bucket seats are definitely a top one for me. Other than wheels, I got Rev 9 Hyper Street 2s, fully adjustable all the way around. I got them all the way stiff, so that way I get the best ride, because the potholes here are like the size of a baby, so they're not friendly to my car. I had a pothole yesterday and I could literally hear the whole car hitting the ground. But motor's still pretty much the same. It is a different motor than the last time you guys probably saw it. I don't know if you guys are new to the channel, you guys probably won't know that much, but I would recommend you guys going back and watching a couple of my older videos so you can kind of get up to date on what's going on. You have been on the channel pretty regularly. Obviously this was blue before on the old motor, but this one's black. I never painted it because I was going to, but I just didn't care to. I was like, whatever. And I was on the time crunch, so I was trying to get the motor and everything like that back in. Nothing too crazy, a little air intake situation. I am still running the Max Speeding Rod catch can that I did. I'm pretty sure I did an install video on, so if you guys want to look at that, or you guys interested in a catch can, check that video out. Got a pretty good review on it. Recently I did pick up a 2003 Dodge Neon, which if you know a thing or two about Mitsubishis, it actually has the same exact motor in it, just flipped around. So it's basically like the cam gears are on this side, you know, everything like that. But it's the exact same motor, like pretty much everything. So with that being said, when I picked that up, the guy who I bought it from had put a new PCV valve on it, but the old one actually threads into the valve cover instead of this one where my old one, it just slid into the tubing. So I took that one and I twisted it into the actual rubber, or the braided line, and stuck it in there so that way it's a more solid fit. I got a hose clamp for this line, I just haven't put it on yet. So once I get all that done, then all that'll be sealed up. Got all my evap and everything like that back together. As far as I'm concerned, the car's running tip top. I mean, it's not showroom ready or nothing like that, but as far as getting down the road and getting back to the house, it's it's not giving me really any issues. I'm doing some rust repair here shortly because this is starting to get kind of out of hand. I want to catch it before that eats through, if it hasn't already, which from the underside doesn't look like it's eating through, so we're gonna try to keep it that way. And then also I went out and I got a spoiler, or not a spoiler, but a bumper lip. I don't know why I did this, because personally this Ohio is not the place for these. Like, it is not the place. They make holes the size of babies for potholes, and they think that my wheels and my lip are gonna hold up. Like, I think I've had this thing on for maybe like a week. I've already broken the back the first day, split it in the middle. Yeah, Tip for lower cars, don't buy spoilers, don't buy lips, don't buy that shit, because honestly you're probably gonna break it in like the first week you have it, and I did. So it was worth it. I mean, I only paid like, I think like 30 bucks for the lip, so I mean, you know, it's not like I'm losing out on a lot of money. If it had been something more expensive, I probably would have been a little more upset, but it is what it is. For people who don't know about my exhaust setup, because I know a couple people did ask about this on Instagram. So it is a stock from the front end. So we still got stock headers, stock downpipe. After flex, it is a cherry pack, which I think is like a 2.25 cherry pack, if I'm not mistaken, as far as width goes. Then that's pretty much back to the stock resonator, and then all the way to this NVIDIA N1 that I picked up off of a 3G. It doesn't sound too bad. It sounds kind of crappy right now because there is, when I was taking out the motor, the downpipe got bent, so it broke a hole in the downpipe. So now there's a gaping hole right after my flex. So when I get on the gas, it gets kind of raspy, but I know for a fact that once I seal that back up, that'll delete that problem. Also, if you guys did notice, I went out and got a diffuser as well for the rear end. It's not like it's universal, but I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, obviously it's not made to fit the vehicle, so you kind of got to like play with it a little bit, but I think it gives the rear end a more of an aggressive kind of look to it, kind of ties it in a little bit better. Now, one of the big things that I'm hoping that a lot of people are going to subscribe to the channel for is the fact that in the next, I would say, week and a half, 2 weeks, I will be repainting this entire car, front to back. Hood, fenders, body, everything will be getting repainted. I'm not going to tell the color, so if you know the color, don't spoil it. If you don't know the color, stay tuned and you'll find out. Just know that it's gonna look dope. I think it's gonna look really good. I've had a couple of my friends say that they think it's gonna look really good too. Painting it will give me that satisfaction I need to, you know, keep it going. Because honestly, I love this car. Like, I mean, it gives me my problems, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I've ever owned a car that didn't give me problems. But as far as it being a crappy car, I can't say it is one. You know, it's a great car, honestly. I love it. I would recommend it to a 2G or a DSM to any person that would ask. You know, like, they have their problems. They're definitely, you know, you gotta take your time with them. You gotta be willing to accept the fact that, you know, the car is not always gonna work how you want it to. But in the end, you'll always figure out what was wrong with it. Like, I think for like the first like month I was here, I couldn't even drive the car because my flywheel bolts were loose and they were hitting the motor as the car was turning over. So it sounded terrible. It sounded like the car was knocking. I actually thought the car had a knock and started looking for a whole new motor. And then a buddy of mine told me that there was a good chance that the flywheel bolts were loose. Got up underneath it with a 15mm. They were all loose, torqued them down, torqued them to spec. I'm not sure exactly how they came loose because they were Loctited in there. So I guess I just didn't give them enough torque or the right torque spec. But I got some new ones, put some Loctite on them, torqued them down, so now they're good. It doesn't make that noise anymore. It sounds pretty good other than the exhaust leak, and it does have a little bit of a whine from the power steering, but that is because I deleted my AC and I'm running it straight off of the harmonic balancer, so it's kind of tight. It's not too tight to where it's gonna, you know, like strip a belt or ruin anything, but it is tight a little bit to where it does kind of whine just a tad. It's not low on fluid or anything like that. There's no air in the system because I have bled it numerous amounts of times. If you guys look in here, I don't know if I can see. Sorry, all this is kind of congested right now because I'm trying to do some evap deleting. But yeah, there's fluid in there. Not a lot, but there's fluid in the system. Probably could put some more in there now that a lot more air has bled out of it. Also, I do have a DC Sports CS2 front strut bar rear one. So if anyone that watches this video, if they have a DSM or an Eclipse, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, if you're trying to sell your guys' rear strut bar, preferably DC2. I know Megan Racing makes one, I think so, but so if you got one of those, I'm open to it as well. I would like to keep the set so that way they're both DC, but if I have to go with something else, I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Obviously, I'm assuming most people have already seen it, but I do have a Volante wood grain and gold steering wheel, Sparco hub, Kaios short hub, and Sparco quick release, Origin shift knob. I got a shift boot from Night Shift. So these things are really nice quality. So if you haven't, you know, checked these out yet, definitely check them out because they throw in a keychain with it, which actually I'll show you guys right here. You know what I'm saying? Same pattern as that, free of charge. It's like 50 bucks, which, I mean, personally, I've been trying to find a decent shift knot or shift boot for the longest time, so this one's actually perfect in length and it's quality material. Definitely check out Night Shift on IG, Facebook, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Pretty dope merch. They got cool sweatshirts, keychains, Surikawas. What else they got? I think they got some other stuff too. I'm not really sure. I didn't do too much diving into it because I was just looking for a shift boot. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, it's a pretty basic build. One day I want to go for power. Right now, not really my mindset. So this one would really just be like the weekend warrior, you know, saying stuff to check out on the weekend, have a little fun with, and then put it back up until, you know what I'm saying, I get a lot more money to where I can really do the things I want to do to this car. Because personally, I would like to do a lot of stuff to this car. Yeah, honestly, it's like a list so long I probably wouldn't even be able to get through half of it in this video. But I definitely want to get good amount of sanding done in the next week or so, and then get this car ready for paint, get it prepped, get these side skirts off, get these sanded down, get these prepped and ready for paint. I'm probably gonna take the lip back off and just not run a lip, because personally it's not worth it. I've learned in the first week of having the lip on that the lip was not worth having, so probably won't do that. Also, one thing I will say that I did change about the car since the last time I made a video is I went to the junkyard, and if for any of my RS guys trying to do the disc to rear brake swap, you know, if you want to get the whole knuckle and not just the backing plate, stuff like that, if you go and find a 98 Dodge Avenger, I'm pretty sure it's like a SXT or something like that, they have the same exact, that and I think the Gallants have the same exact rear end knuckles as the Eclipses. So these are actually, if you guys see, these are actually these are knuckles, brakes, and brake pads and everything like that from a 98 Dodge Avenger. They do fit on the Eclipse perfectly. They have the exact same setup, the exact same matchup as the Eclipse. It's basically a Eclipse just made by Dodge, clearly. So, but I mean, for like 40, I think it was like all together, it was like 80 bucks, you know, and I got the whole thing top to bottom. I got the e-brake hoses, or e-brake lines, brake hoses, calipers, brackets, pads that were basically brand new. I mean, I put some, I got some new ones to put on there if need be, but these ones were like, they were basically full pad life, honestly. So I just slapped those back on there with the rotors that were already on, threw some lubricating grease on them and sent it. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much like the overlook of the build at this point. As far as like things I want to do in the near future, I definitely want to fully revamp this car, a full interior build on this car, like a full segment just dedicated solely to the interior, as this interior does need a lot of work. And obviously I knew that when I bought the car. As you guys can see over here, that is water, dirt, all kinds of shit. So definitely gonna have to get in here, I'm probably gonna take the whole carpet out and then detail the carpet, try to get it as gray, back to gray as I can. If I can't get it back to gray, you know what I'm saying, all the way, then I will just probably I'll just probably try to get as good as I can and then just leave it at that. And I'll probably also go back to the junkyard and from that same Avenger, because it's got a pretty much immaculate interior. I'm assuming it was probably owned by like an older lady or something like that, because the interior is literally spotless. Like, it doesn't smell like it was smoked in, it doesn't smell like it was like they didn't do anything in that car other than drive it. So I'll probably end up going and getting the door panels for that, because they are the same door panels that come in this car, so they'll bolt right up. Those are the same color, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna do an upholstery on those. It's probably I'll probably do something closer to either the color of the car once I paint it, or the color of the seat, just kind of match the interior a little bit. I have a lot of good things planned for this thing. I'm in the process right now of trying to enter into some major groups to hopefully get me involved in some more like bigger events here down the road. So one thing I will say is I'm not by any means a good mechanic. I'm not by any means a professional mechanic, or a mechanic that could say, oh, 10 out of 10 I know everything I'm fucking talking about, because I don't. But this channel is definitely gonna be for people who are trying to do DIY things, trying to learn more about the Eclipse build, trying to learn more about cars in general, or someone just wants to see someone having fun doing what they love. So that's what this is about. So if you like it, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you always get the updates when I post new videos. Unlike before, where I've said that I'm gonna try and put out a video every week, I'm gonna be a little more realistic this time. I'm gonna go for like a week and a half to 2 weeks at a time. So bear with me if I don't have a video out every week, because I'm more or less probably trying to work it around my schedule, and editing and stuff like that is going to take me time as well, because I haven't done it in a very long time. So I got to kind of get back into the swing of things. But once I'm back into the swing of things full speed, probably try to crank out a video every other week, just so that way I give you guys new fresh content. With summer right around the corner, you know, the meets are coming up. I've already been to a few out here so far, and they're really good, quality cars, great people. So I'll definitely be getting some more footage of, you know, me out at the meets and stuff like that, and like, you know, hanging out with everybody. And you can see some of the other cars around my area. There's definitely some very unique builds around here. Some that even live in the area where I live at. Like, I see probably every day, and there's more. I'm scratching the surface, honestly, when it comes to this area. So without that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm probably gonna end the video here shortly. I'm gonna throw a cinematic in here. So this is my first time doing one, so bear with me. It might not be that great, but I'm gonna try to get a decent cinematic of the car and see how I do with it. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can get the new videos sent to you when I post them. And I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it over to the cinematic.